There's obviously loads teachers and schools can do once bullying has been detected. But is that enough?
Anyone who's ever been to school knows that there are places and times you'd do anything to avoid. It might be the yard at lunchtime, the toilets, or even the bus journey home. We need someone to investigate this. Hugo, are you up for it?
I don't think so, Krish, but I know an agent who is. 0017.
These are mean streets and dangerous times. They smell like an innocent corridor, but in a few minutes, hordes of children pile through these doors. There's going to be pushing, tripping, shoving. I won't lie to you, it's going to get ugly. Here they come. No hitting, bag throwing, not even any loitering. There's something going on here. Finally, I found you. What's going on?
Oh, hello there. I'm giving out these orange tickets for good behaviour. We do it every day. The tickets then go into a box like this. And then at the end of the week, the raffle is drawn out and whoever's name's on the raffle goes onto a list. On that list are all the children who may be going bowling or skiing or whatever the activity may be. It's a treat.
Thank you, Malcolm. Now, not every school is looking up to our Malcolm, but there are lots of ways schools can use their staff to smooth over the hardest times of the day. They just think outside the box. Lunchtime, another time of the day that some kids dread, but there are lots of adults about who seem to know how to keep kids entertained. I fancy going on this myself. Here's what some of the schools are doing to make lunchtimes better. Some schools spend money on equipment to make the most of outdoor space and encourage play. This school has only had 4 different activities. Shh! They even have a quiet area. Twice a week they have indoor options too.
When you've got kids wandering about with nothing to do, then they get into trouble. What we try to do is make sure that they all have something to do, some sort of activity. So we've got little groups all around the school, and while we've got kids occupied and busy, it's less likely that we have any problems.
This school has employed a lunchtime manager. Her whole job is just about finding ways to make lunchtime fun and trouble-free. Another good idea is playground friends. They are trained to include kids who are feeling a bit left out and organise games that everyone can join in. These schemes can raise children's self-esteem and help to create a sense of community in school. Some great ideas for primary there, but what about secondary schools? With more students and less to do at break, it's a whole different ball game. Take a look at this. Thanks, Katie. Now we haven't got time here to talk about everything secondary schools can do to clean up their danger zone. But identifying the trouble spots will be a great place to start. I'm not going down there. These students are using maps of the school to point out problem areas as part of their PHSE lesson. They discuss why bullying happens and what can be done to stop it. Their ideas are fed back through school council to the senior management team.
The map system is very effective. The students show where bullying is taking place and exactly what's happening in those areas. And you can see the evidence here in front of us. The students showed this as a #1 area where they felt unsafe, and students would go through the double doors up here, wait for the victim to come through the doors here, and then they would throw things down on them. So you can see in the summer this area was boxed in, and now students feel quite safe here and they know their voice is being heard. Now, doing things to make kids feel safe in school isn't really worth much when you're too scared to get to school in the first place. Yes, I'm talking about the school bus. 2 words that strike fear to the toughest teenagers. 10,000 children travel to school in our city every day on buses and trams, so keeping them all safe is a tough job. But in our region, the Transport Executive runs a scheme called Safe Mark to try to do just that. Schools qualify for a Safe Mark award when they implement a homeschool travel improvement plan.
Transport Executive supports the scheme by sending coordinators into the school to teach students about travel safety and advising schools on solutions and best practice. They also work with transport providers to encourage good practice from their side, like having dedicated drivers at school times and increasing CCTV coverage. Whatever school they go to and however they get there, kids have the right to feel safe. And unless schools can act to make sure they do, effective learning cannot take place. This is Luke for ABTV.
Now, I hope you're starting to get the picture that there's plenty of things we can do to start putting a stop to bullying.
But if it is so easy, why isn't everybody doing it? I mean, everybody agrees it's important. Even the man who's in charge of the education policy for the whole of the city. Let's see what he's got to say about it.
Bullying is everybody's business. Really, this is a question about the whole ethos of schools, and we have to work together to ensure that we have a real focus on bullying and minimise it. We won't get rid of it, but we can't have a vision which is about children enjoying school life if they in any way fear for what their experiences are going to be during that day.
Okay, so it's about ethos. I think we need to take a closer look at this. We have a team of scientists who have been working on this for some time. I think they're about ready to give us their results.
But before that science stuff, we've got someone here who can explain it in language we can all understand. John Stead is from the Anti-Bullying Alliance. They're made up of all the main anti-bullying agencies, so there's not many people who know more about bullying than him. Hi John, thanks for coming in. We've been investigating stuff that schools can do to stop bullying, and it seems like there's plenty of solutions out there. But why aren't schools doing this, and why is there still a problem with bullying in our schools?
Well, it has to start with the school admitting that bullying is something that can take place there and recognising that at some time some of its pupils will suffer from bullying. It's also got to involve the whole school, and by that I mean not just the pupils and the staff, it's got to involve parents and it's got to involve governors.
So it's about the whole school getting involved?
Yes, it has to be. It's about asking people how big a problem bullying is. That's particularly the pupils. So where is bullying taking place? When is it taking place? Who is responsible? It's also about asking pupils and parents whether they think what the school is trying to do is working and asking them what might work better. And I suppose what you're really doing is you're testing the ethos of the school.
Ethos? I've been hearing a lot about that word. Can you explain it?
I think ethos is about how people feel. And with regard to bullying, it's whether people feel safe. And that, for me, is whether people feel that they're cared for, whether they feel respected and valued. But most importantly, whether they feel that if they've got a problem, there's someone they can talk to, someone who will listen to them, and someone who will do something about it.
Thank you, John. Back to you, Hugo.